of the last pictures of the Northlander train. For more than a century, it's been a vital link for remote communities in Northern Ontario. But this weekend, its familiar rattle on the rails between Toronto and Cochrane was silenced, a victim of provincial government cuts. Our Nick Purden climbed aboard for one of the train's last journeys and found something surprising. The end of the Northlander may be the start of an independence campaign.
She deserves our respect. You know, she was there for us always. I carried my babies to Toronto on that train. We brought our dad back on that train. She's part of the family. And to have to see her make her last run is not funny. My father worked for the railroad, got my brothers, my great uncles. It was like, it's not just my family, everybody's family. And that train, like I say, is part of our family. I mean, Ontario Northland. You know, when it's going down the track, you know, there's the Ontario Northland. That's us.
I'll admit, when I first heard that the Northlander was being cancelled, I didn't think it was a big deal. People can drive or take the bus. When I stepped onto the platform in Cochrane, 700 kilometers north of Toronto, I didn't understand what cancelling this train meant to the people here.
It's another way of marginalizing the people in the north, saying you don't really matter. You can take the bus, you know, go ahead, take the bus, little people. The train will only be for the industry.
The argument by the Ontario government is that the Northlander is too expensive and they can't afford to subsidize it anymore.
I would like to welcome you aboard the Northlander, now departing for North Bay, Toronto, and all points in between.
It's a crying shame because this country was built on the train. It's always been my feeling and the feeling of people in the north that our government is always in Toronto, and you know, the north is always forgotten.
This idea of a rift between north and south keeps coming up with the people on the train. But wasn't the Northlander supposed to unite the province?
At mile 46 to Bogby South.
Wayne Kevillon has driven north and south along this track for more than 25 years.
It feels like we're not part of the same province. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're not getting our fair share of services for the taxes that people in Northern Ontario pay and deserve. People in Northern Ontario deserve the same kind of services that they get in Southern Ontario, and yet we're not getting the opportunity to have them. It feels like I'm losing a part of myself. That's what it feels like.
For the people in the north, the cancellation of the Northlander is deeply personal. So much so that it's even awakened the long-dormant Northern Ontario independence movement.
We're not being listened to in the north. We're not being consulted. We're just being pushed around. We're treated like third-class citizens. We are abused. Yeah, Manitoba, yeah.
Jerry Coulville is a member of the Northern Ontario Heritage Party. His dream? To create the new province of Northern Ontario.
All we are here is a treasure trove of minerals for Queen's Park to come and get.
And when you think that the freight train will still carry minerals and lumber south, but not the people, it's hard to argue with Jerry.
We're proud of it. You know, we're proud of the train. We're proud that it's got our name on it. Not much does. Just to look at it as disposable, it's not disposable to us. It's sad.
So what does it do to the psyche of a town, of a place, when the train gets canceled?
Oh, I feel like crying. You know, it's really sad. We're all very emotional about it. It's, like I say, it's not just a piece of transportation. It's not a piece of steel. It's a train. And it's been there forever. I mean, none of us know anything else.
What would you say is your best memory of the Ontario Northland?
back. I was young. It was school was out. It was summertime, and as a treat, Dad would let me go on the runs with him. And we would get up, we'd go down the station, get on the train, and we would ride through the night. And of course, being summer, the windows were down and it was dark out, and you'd feel that warm air running into that cab, and you could see the dash all lit up, and the stars. It was beautiful.
Around here, the Northlander is about more than jobs and a link between North and South. It's a symbol, a source of pride. And now that it's gone, it makes you wonder who wants to separate from whom. After all, for the people along this route, it's the South that cancels something that belonged to the North. It isn't called the Northlander for nothing.
So what do you think the future holds?
Well, I'm going to try and be optimistic and say that we'll get the train back. Say that we'll keep on fighting till we get the train back. And I just don't see how they cannot give it back to us. I can't believe that we're saying goodbye to it.
Nick Purden, CBC News, Cochrane, Ontario.
As Nick mentioned, the end of the Northlander is a huge blow for towns all along that line. They're losing not just a transit system, but the tourist dollars it brought. Here's another look at the route. Gravenhurst is the birthplace of Dr. Norman Bethune. In China, the surgeon is still revered for his 1930s work on the battlefront. His childhood home is a National Historic Site. Temagami has been another key stop. This is where you'll find some of the best canoe routes in the world. There are hundreds of kilometers of interconnected lakes and rivers, truly a paddler's paradise. And we should mention Cochrane, Ontario. It's where Tim Horton was born. He's known for both hockey and donuts. And yes, you can visit a Tim Hortons in Tim Hortons,